Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Tiffany. I'm glad to have you here. So I'm here to talk about some makeup buying regrets, or makeup I regret buying. Some of them I still have, and some of them I returned or given away. So let's get on to it. So the first thing I have to talk about is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty The Lip Sculptor double-ended lip gloss and gloss. That's far too long of a name. I bought this during the 21 days of beauty. I bought 4 in total, half off, so I do believe they came out to $10 each. And what was great about it is I used my points and everything, so I didn't really pay anything on it. But I bought 4 that are basically the same shade. Like 4 of them look identical. I wish I had them with me now, but I'm at my boyfriend's. I thought they were different, but really on the lips they look the same. It's a very creamy texture. They're fine. They're nothing spectacular. They're definitely not $20 worth, and they're not really $10 worth either. So that's something I kind of regret purchasing. I mean, I'll use it. And the next thing I have is the CoverGirl foundation, the clean line for normal skin. And I decluttered this. I loathe this foundation. Used it without primer, whatever. It would break up. It would cause these like weird patches on my skin where you can tell it's like foundation here and no foundation right there. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand. So it was horrible. I would say stay away from that. The next few things I'm going to talk about, and I'm probably going to get some hate on, but that's fine. You know, that's how it worked for me, and how actually it didn't work for me. But yeah, we're all different. Was the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. I actually ended up returning that because whenever I try to use it, it blended out very patchy on me. Like with eye primer, without eye primer. It was just very patchy. And so at the time it was $42. I had the older packaging, so it was a little less. And it's just like, it's not gonna work for me, and it's like up there in price. I'm not gonna try to work with it, you know. I shouldn't have to try to work with something, you know, being that it's higher end. The next thing I have is actually, I still have it. It's the Kat Von D Metal Matte Palette. And I love her shimmers. Her shimmers are awesome in that. Her shimmer metallics, whatever you want to call them, they're great. Now, the problem I have with that is the matte, which is half the palette. And her purples in there, they suck. I'm sorry. Like the same thing for the shade and light, they blend away really patchy, or they just blend away to nothing. And the color pigmentation on that was just horrible. I was just like, I wanted the purple. I don't know what they're called. I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to do a purple look, and it'll just blend away to like a gray tone, and I'm just like, what is going on? And that's an expensive palette, $60. So essentially I'm paying $60 for the shimmers because the mattes weren't that great. Although I did like, I think it was Bone and Oak. Those were good. Those were decent, but I mean, those I could get in any other palette. So, you know, I wanted the metal matte for the colors. So the fact that pretty much half the palette didn't work for me, and I didn't end up buying the Satan Center palette because just off of those 2 formulas alone, I just know the mattes don't work for me. But the shimmers are really nice. I do really like her shimmers. So maybe her Metal Crush. I heard they're very similar in that metal matte palette, that they're the same formulas. I still have it for the shimmers and some of the mattes, but just for $60, it's just like, should work for you, you know? The next thing I have, the Lorac Pro 2. I don't know why I bought that 2. Oh, I know why. I bought it because there was these blues that I wanted, the navy blue. I wanted that, and honest, I tried with it. Like, I tried using it. it was so powder. Like, I don't mind fallout and powder in an eyeshadow. I understand. I do my eye looks normally before my face, so it doesn't really bother me. But it when I tried getting the pigment blue that it has in there, it didn't come across on my eyelids that same way. So for, I believe, $54, I tried that, and I used a neutral side. The neutral side was great, but that's not what I bought it for. I did not buy it for the neutral side. I bought it for that pops of blue in it, and those were the shade that didn't wow me, so I ended up returning it. It didn't work for the intended use, so why would I keep it? So I ended up returning it. The next things I do have to talk about are the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. So I had a hard time saying that. Not because they aren't great, more so or less it's because they're singles, and I realized that I'm not into trying to pull out singles and using those instead. If I could in singles and put them in Z palettes or magnetic palettes, that would be great. But you know, they do get dry, and I have some that dried out on me, so I wasn't very happy about that. And spending $5 a piece on something I rarely use, because I learned from my own faults that I don't like those type of single shadows. The next thing is also from ColourPop, and I hear this a lot, they're ultra matte lipsticks. That's why I originally started buying ColourPop, was for the ultra matte liquid lipsticks. Before then, actually, I wasn't really into makeup, and I never saw the point of lipsticks, especially if they come off all the time. So I was just like, what's the point? But then I started watching more YouTube, and I think that was about almost 2 years ago, and that's when ColourPop had their big craze with their liquid lipsticks, and I just kept seeing like ColourPop, 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 matte liquid lipstick, matte liquid. I'm like, oh, okay, they don't come off. Like, that's awesome, but they're super dry. And I didn't realize that, and I bought a whole bunch. I was like, I can work with this, I can totally do this, and I can do it for a while. But the thing is that they tend to, like, on me, rub off kind of weird. I think they rub off on everybody probably the same way. Really dry. I get what they say, butthole lips, and I'll try to like take it off, redo it, but it was just a hassle. So I still have them. I still have my Super Shock shadows as well, but I won't be buying any of their ultra matte anymore. I love their ultra satins, and their lippy sticks. I love those. Theirs aren't as drying, but more importantly, they're easy to wipe off and then reapply. That's the hard part with the ultra mattes, is they're very, very hard to reapply. The next thing I regret buying is the Sephora Color Switch by Veramona, just because when I started watching YouTube, people were using the color switch, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Later on realized, per a lot of other people, were like, oh, there's an Ulta one. I mean, the color switch is $18. That's a lot. And a lot of people are like, dude, just get a tin and like a hair donut and use that. And I'm like, it's the exact same thing. Why would I spend $18 on that when I could just do that for like $1, $2, or even get the Ulta one, which is like half the price, $9. And I was just like, god dang it. Like, I have it. I'm not gonna throw it away. But it's just like, why would I spend $18 on something I can buy for $1 or $2? You know, like I buy a tin, I buy a hair donut, you're done, you know? So I regret purchasing that, just because it was a ridiculously amount of money for what it is, you know? I hate spending like more than I need to or have to, so it's just like, ugh, my heart just hurt figuring that out, finding that out. The next thing I have is the Josie Maran Infinite Argan Enlightenment Duo. Sorry, I had a hard time saying that. Just because I actually tried using it the other day, and I think I bought this, well, yeah, over a year ago, and they are liquid. I tried using the little pump one that you'll see in the picture, and it smelled off. I don't really try using it. My friend was talking about how she wanted an illuminator, and I was like, oh, you know, I have some. So I was thinking about giving it to her, and I hadn't even used it. So I was just like, I'll just give it to her, you know, I have it, whatever. And it just smelled off, and I was just like, oh. used it, and it's just like I'm like figuring out I'm not really that big of a fan of liquid highliners or shimmers and stuff like that. And thinking about that, I'm like, I better start using them before they all go off. So it's just, I regret purchasing it. I think I bought it more just, you know, just to try it, and I'd have like pumped it on my hand and switched it around a bit, but I never really used it. So kind of regret that. Kind of regret most of my liquid purchases, my liquid highlighter purchases. So the next thing I have is a Sephora collection, their solid blush cleaner. I think it's on like $8. It's just a little bar soap, and I have pretty much all synthetic brushes, so I'm not really very conscious about my natural hair brushes and damaging them. I'm like, most of my brushes are like cheap, like they're Elf, Real Techniques or something like that, where I could just go out and repurchase and don't feel too bad about it. Anyway, so it's just like $8 for soap and a little thing. And to be fair, it was when I started getting into makeup, and then everything was like, oh, you know, you get sucked in, and you're like, oh. But then you realize later on down the line you didn't have to buy something so expensive. You could buy like a cheaper, like a lot of people are those Zoe, the pink bar soap you can get at the 99-cent store. You literally find those big giant bar soaps for 99 cents and just use your brush cleaner for that. And it's just like, why they spend $8 on this? I mean, it's nice for being travel, you know, but the next thing I regret purchasing is the Sephora collection, the Romantic Eyeshadow Palette. I bought it as a filler. I bought it as a shipping filler. It's not that great. It's patchy, not great pigmentation. It's very cute, like it comes out in a little fold. It's adorable. I bought it as a filler to hit shipping, free shipping. So, you know, I guess you guys would understand that, I'm sure. The next thing I bought was the Sephora collection Perfect Condition Brush Conditioner. It's a conditioner for your brush, and I have synthetic brushes, and I was just like, I thought it would like, oh, help it make it softer. No, not with synthetic. I don't feel like it did a difference. It was like $5. It was probably a filler too in another order, to be honest. If I really needed a conditioner, I could use shampoo, conditioner. I have a whole bunch at home, and so I don't know why I bought this. The next thing I totally regret purchasing, which I did return, was a Viseart eyeshadow palette Petite Pro, their first one. That to try out the hype, and for me, I felt like everything muddied together when I used it. I was just like, what the hell? Definitely not worth the price. The Petite Pros. I do have a Viseart full 12 pan, and I do enjoy that. Those colors. I have the dark mattes. Enjoy that one very much, but the Petite Pro, I do not feel like it's the same formula at all. Totally returned it. If it doesn't work for me, I'm returning it. I have no problems returning something that does not work for me. You know, like, trust me, they aren't hurting because I'm returning something, you know. I'm hurting by buying like a crap product that doesn't work for me, so I'm just gonna return and get my money back. Some people are gonna like totally be like, what, why? But it's the Stila Eye for Elegance liquid eyeshadow set. These words. I bought it on a whim, and not really understanding that 3 of them are like a shimmery thing, and then only 3 of them are the glittery. I was just disappointed. For $45, I think was the set. Not all of them were the glitter sets, and I was just like, what? I didn't want these for the 3. I did swatch them out. The glitters, they kept like just a mess everywhere on my arm, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, the whole point of these were so that you don't get fallout, right? I mean, they were pretty, but I have something similar. I have something very similar. It's the Revlon, but those are very similar versus they have the shimmer on one side and then they have glitter pigment on the other. Probably do the same things as the Stila Magnificent Eyes, in my opinion. A little bit more work because you do have to double-sided. I might end up buying the 3 that they had versus the 6, but I'm not quite sure, because I do hear if you do have like hooded lids, like I do have very small lids, they transfer a lot, and since they're moving back and forth, they're gonna get a lot of fallout because of that. So I'm not quite sure if I would repurchase, or I would purchase the 3 set or any of the Stillas, just because you do get a lot of transfer and fallout, especially having small eyelids like I do. The next thing I bought that I do regret is the Tartelette in tease. It doesn't perform on my eyes very well, and I like the Tartis Pro. I love that one for travel. It works great on me. I have no problems with that one. But the Tartelette in tease, no, it's $23 and you only get six shades, and I'm just like, oh, this is kind of a waste of money. I bought it a while ago, and so I missed the return time. I still have it. I might declutter it to a friend. Next thing I have is not this brand in particular. I'll show the Wet n Wild, but any pencil eyeliners ever. Well, most of them. I like colored, but me, I only use them in my my tight line or my waterline. And for me, nothing stays, not even the Marc Jacobs. They don't stay in my waterline. They love to like run off and into my my outer tear duct or my outer corner, whatever. They love going right there, and then just big old splotch of color and black or whatever, and then I always have to clean that up. So normally that's why you don't see me wear a lot of shadow underneath my eyes, because one, for me, because I have small eyes, I feel like it makes my eyes smaller. Unless I want a very smoky eye, I don't tend to put anything under my eyes, just because I don't want my eyes looking smaller. So yeah, just pencil eyeliners in general just don't work for me. They tend to run, they never stay. They either transfer to the out or they'll transfer underneath. Just a big old hassle, and I have a whole bunch I have to get through. I have color ones, which I like. I love pop-up colors under on my waterline and stuff, but they tend not to stay there. They tend to move a lot. So I just have to be conscious about that, and sometimes you just don't want to be conscious about the makeup on your face. And the last thing I bought, and this was my first purchase. I do believe it was my first purchase into high-end. It might be that or the Kat Von D Shade and Light. But it was the Urban Decay Vault Volume 3. And I so regret purchasing this. I was looking into them because I think like most of you guys YouTubed, what's the best eyeshadow palette to buy? Like starting off, what's the best beginner eyeshadow palette to buy? And a lot of people would say the naked one, blah, blah. You know, a lot of people are like either Naked One or the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. And I have to disagree with a lot of them. Yeah, the Naked Ones, it's not the best anymore at all. I would watch eyeshadow palette collections, and they're like, I love this is my first one, but then they don't use it anymore. It's just in their collection. It's more like a sentimental thing versus an actual, you know, it's awesome. It's not. It has like 2-3 mattes, and I've learned for myself going through a year-long process of doing makeup and applying it to my face and stuff, that I need more mattes than I need shimmers. And the Naked palettes tend to have more shimmers than mattes in them. And I bought the Vault. Like I don't know why I bought the Vault. I should have just bought one of the palettes. I should have just bought the Naked one by itself. But then I was like looking at their I was also looking at which ones I wanted, and I was looking at their basics too, because I was like, oh look, these are all mattes, and they would correspond together, you know, all mattes with this, and just like, oh, if I need more mattes, or it's a good travel size palette or whatever, you know. So, and then you got some of their lipsticks in it, lip gloss, and the lip liners. And I was just like I said, I was starting out in makeup at that time, so I was like, oh, you know, this would be a nice full set to buy. And I'm saving, like, I did the math, I think I saved like $100 buying the whole thing versus buying them singly. So I was just like, I'll just do it, and you know, it's fine, whatever. And I regret it. So don't buy vaults, people. Just don't buy vaults. If you want to try it, buy one and try it out, you know. Just I was just like, oh, I can save $100 buying this whole thing, but spend $300 on Vault. Yeah. I do enjoy the basics. I do enjoy the lip liners, lipsticks. Not so much the lip glosses, but lipsticks are good. I do like the 3 and 4, actually, the smoky. Those are really good. The 2 is okay. It's a very cool tone. I'm more warm tone, so I decluttered the first one to my friend. She wanted that palette, and I wasn't using it, so I was just like, here, you can have it, you know? Just go ahead. You know, I'm not gonna keep something just to keep it. Why? When someone else can get use out of it, you know? I think that's everything I could think of that I just makeup that I regret buying. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little ramble. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Also like this video if you guys do. I'm trying to post every Monday and Friday, so I hope you guys come back for my next video. Bye.